Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to talk about today to start your Friday off right, Jim Jordan, one of my spirit animals in Congress, is going after the ATF, particularly around the rule of who's considered to be a dealer of firearms, because John Cornyn's little pet project. Yeah, different thing, different time. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And of course, this content is brought to you by Vanish. I hope you guys need a holster for your concealed carry needs, because here we go. This is not your everyday range holster. This is the holster that eliminates all your excuses for not carrying your favorite freedom tool. So comfortable, in fact, they offer a guarantee you'll love it or they'll get your money back. It fits 99% of existing models, and you can carry 2 fully loaded mags in this bad boy. Just a few of the features the Vanish holster boasts: it has a no-stink material. It wicks away moisture and prevents odor, so you don't have an issue in that regard. As well, it comes in 2 sizes, 48-inch and 68-inch belts. That makes it a perfect fit for everybody, and the belt is fully adjustable. And this holster comes with the most comfortable holster you'll ever wear guarantee. If it's not the most comfortable, they've got you. Also, if you use my code right in the description box, you get 30% off for yourself, plus an additional half off of the next one for your friend or family. Vanish wants to hook you and your family members up. Not only if you click on the link in the description box below do you get 30% off for one for yourself, but you also get an additional one for 50% off the already discounted price. It's right down there in the description box, and act now so you can not only prepare yourself, but also your family and friends with this holster. All right, it is time, my beautiful patriots across the fruited plain. We are going to talk about Jim Jordan going after the ATF again. This is why it was so awesome that he was in charge of the Judiciary Committee. Because he has the power to do things just like this, which is what we need. And if the power tables shift here at the end of November, this could become a tasty thing. But let's talk about what he's doing now, what about he could do in the future. Jim Jordan aims to shoot down new gun dealing rule from Ohio's Steve Dettelbach. Well, I mean, he's the ATF director, right? So what Jim Jordan is doing is he's going after the most recent rule that the ATF decided to implement for whatever wild hair they got, redefining who is a gun dealer and who's not. Like if you sell a gun within 24 days of buying it, if you made a profit, if you have an Excel spreadsheet, stupid things like that. But Jim is kind of going after it, but the way he's going after it is what I really want to hit on. Check out what he's doing, and it includes the White House. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan is pushing firearm regulators, led by Steve Dettelbach, which is the ATF director, to provide information about what led to a proposal that could expand the pool of gun sellers who must be licensed by the federal government. Again, that's the whole rule that we've hit at a whole lot that Jim Cornyn allowed through the Safer Communities bipartisan Senate deal. Saying that the ATF effort, quote, threatens to violate the Second Amendment rights of millions of Americans, it does, by the way, Jordan sent a letter to Dettelbach on Thursday asking Dettelbach, the Bureau's director, to provide his committee with records. Those include communications between the Executive Office of the President and ATF regarding the proposed policy, an explanation of how ATF plans on enforcing the policy when it's finalized, and all documents and communications between ATF and any organizations that consulted on the change. The committee wants the information by 5 p.m. on March 14th. This isn't just the judiciary saying, hey, we want some information. He's specifically saying, hey, who at the White House told you to do this? What were your communications between the White House and yourselves at the ATF? Oh, and while we're hovering around the subject, what kind of other outside groups did you talk about? Hint, hint, those are gun control groups. That's what he's talking about. We might be able to get information coming from who's driving the policy decisions, making the ATF do things, and the White House. I promise you, Everytown for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Action, Giffords.org, and Brady are all involved. If they show up, oh baby, I really would love to see it. A letter that Jordan and other Judiciary Committee Republicans sent Dettelbach on Thursday accused the Biden administration of, quote, attempting to abuse the federal rulemaking process to circumvent Congress in order to achieve a far-left policy outcome. That's exactly what they're doing. That's why they've got the cases in front of the SCOTUS. That's why Chevron deference popped up in front of SCOTUS 2 months ago when we heard that. That's the entire point. And Jim Jordan has done this before where he said, hey, you're circumventing Congress. The ATF, the executive bureaucracies, are being used at behest of the White House in order to circumvent Congress. They are usurping the legislative power, separation of powers, all sorts of things. Let's continue. ATF's regulatory notice is well beyond the scope of its authority and threatens to violate the Second Amendment rights of millions of Americans, said the letter, which cited an executive order from Biden that urged the Justice Department to move the United States as close as possible to universal background checks from gun purchasers without additional legislation. Again, that's the entire point. They are usurping the power of Congress. I will say it until I'm blue in the face. They're using the executive levers in order to get what they want done without having to pass Congress, which is directly accountable to the people. That's the whole point. One more thing. Well, two more things. Jordan's letter said the proposed rule largely ignores the provision in the statute stating the term engaged in business shall not include a person who makes occasional sales, exchanges, or purchases of firearms for the enhancement of a personal collection or for a hobby, or who sells all or part of his personal collection for firearms. So they're ignoring the part that's supposed to be the escape valve. The pressure valve, they're just ignoring it. And the last thing I've got for you. Quote, the rule states that absent reliable evidence to the contrary, individuals are presumed to be engaged in the business of dealing firearms if their conduct falls within one of ATF's specified presumptions, Jordan's letter continues. In other words, the rule flips the burden of proof and presumes that Americans engaged in conduct disfavored by ATF are breaking the law unless they can prove their innocence. How many times have we seen that over and over and over again? That's red flag laws, guys. Prove your innocence after we've assumed you're guilty. You can't have your gun rights because we've assumed that you're guilty, but you can prove you're innocent. It's okay. It violates all of our principles of our founding nation. It allows the government to get outside of the confines the Constitution puts on them, and it puts the burden of proof, as said in this letter, directly on the individuals, not on the government. This may be focused really highly on the Second Amendment with red flag laws, with the who's engaged in the business of a dealer, all those things. But if you branch this out to the broad population, guys, this is a threat to liberty of both liberals, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, independents, Green Party, all of them. The rent is too damn high party, anyone. The entire point here is they are usurping the power of Congress for their own desires of power, and that is not a good recipe for freedom. And that's what we've got for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.